And we're, of course, really pleased that our closing ceremony, which hopefully will keep up our message that peace is possible, is taking place on UN Peace Day. And so our final keynote had to be a Nobel Peace Laureate.
She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for courageous nonviolent struggle for women's safety and rights, and for her role in peace-building efforts in the Middle East. At the time, she was the youngest of all the recipients. As the first woman from the Arab world to receive the prize, she was recognized alongside Liberian leaders Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Lema Gaboe.
Known for her advocacy for democracy and freedom of expression, she led protests against President Saleh's regime and founded Women Journalists Without Chains. During the Arab Spring, she emerged as a key leader, championing reconciliation among various religious and sectarian groups, and advocating that Islam supports women's full societal participation.
So please welcome back this person whose passion burns so bright. For the third time, returning councillor, Tawakkol Karman.
I was thinking, hello, good to see you.
My little love you, darling.
Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Peace be upon all of you. I'm so happy to be here for the third time as a consulate of this, my lovely place. I like this place. I like this home. I like young people. And I am one of them, actually. You know? So, of course, I will love this place. So I'm so happy to be with you. And I am so proud for every young person attending this very important gathering. It is not just a summit for talk. It is not just a summit for speak to each other, know each other, but it is a summit for those young people who will be the leaders of the future. Young people who is the current change makers. You are the one who is responsible to make this world a better place for the current generation and for all the generations to come. So I appreciate that those people who came from many corners in the world. Most of the countries around the world are represented here. So you should know that you didn't come here just to celebrate, but to carry the new mission, or to renew your mission, or to update your information, and to energize yourself again for the big challenges that you're supposed to face and to solve. The current world, our world, is living under a very great challenges that really threaten our humanity. The most important challenge that is threaten our existence as a human being and our existence in this earth, in our Mother Earth, is the climate change. So your duty, don't think that it is the duty of the adult people. No, your duty, always say that I am the one who will be the decision maker. I am the one who lead the future. I am the one who will stop this global warming that destructs our planet, that make these reckless activities that attack the ecological system of our Earth. And destroy our biodiversity of our Mother Earth. We should stop it. Raise your voice to stop this madness of governments, this madness of the cooperation that really destroy the current and the future. And promise yourself and promise the world that you will be able to do that. And if you think that you will not be able to do that, that means that you are playing a very huge part of destroying our Earth, our environment. You are part of the creating the climate change because you think that you are you don't have the ability to make that change. No, you can. As a young people, has a great tools to change the current state. The second very important challenge is the deterioration in human rights values. Is the rising of dictatorship everywhere in the planet. Is the rising of tyrannies and injustice. Is the rising of military coups around the world. Is the rising of the extremist right wing in this planet. Is the rising of hatred, racism. This is a very big decline. We had a very big victory when the human being write the International Human Rights Declaration after the after the Second World War, and after the fall of Berlin Wall. But what is happening now? Another madness. The democracy itself is in decline, is under threat, under great danger. It is not just in the countries that people are suffering and sacrificing for freedom, democracy, justice, but even in the well-known democratic countries, like America, like Canada, like Britain, like France. So these great noble values of equality, human rights, rule of law, it's really under danger. What should we do? What should we do? Will we let the space for those hatred to decide our future and the future of the generations to come? Will you allow them? Will you allow those hatred people, these haters people, those racist people, those dictators, continue? What is the shape of the future of our world? You young people, I want to listen to you. Will you allow them? No. Will you allow them? So those dictators has to stop now. Those people in power, who spread hatred, racism, injustice, corruption, should be stopped now. And who will stop them? You young people. Please be the nightmare of those dictators and be their nightmare. Look, My hobby is to face and expose corruption and put down those dictators. This is my hobby. And I practiced it since I was a child. And I practiced it when I started to write strong articles against the dictator in Yemen. And when I started my own organization, Women Journalists Without Chains. And when I started my peaceful and our peaceful revolution with Yemeni people against the dictator. And at that time, I was a young woman from a great country called Yemen. And I am still young. Don't think that. So believe in yourself. And there is a good story, it's a rumor, that the dictator Ali Abdullah Saleh been told by his fortune teller that a woman will force you to leave the authority. A woman will make you step down from your authority. And luckily, I was that woman. So I was his nightmare. And when he woke up from that dream, he didn't find himself president again. So now the human rights value is under threat. The war in Gaza is exposing how this world or how the international system and policy are deteriorating and how they give up the values and principles of human rights. The genocide in Gaza exposed that. This genocide should be stopped now. The same thing in Ukraine. The occupation, the war of Russia against Ukrainian people also expose how this decline in human rights. The war in my country, the military coup in Africa, in Congo, for example, the return, the Taliban ruling in Afghanistan, the war, the continuous repression against Syrian people, the war in Libya, in Sudan, the dictatorship in Venezuela, and the most important thing when we talk about dictatorship, we shouldn't forget the role of the multinational cooperation. The multinational cooperation who backed by the governments, by the well-known, the power, the strongest countries around the world, who finance and who give protection to those countries, who steal the wealth of people in Latin America and in Africa. And here in Canada, there is some of those cooperation who steal the wealth of people, especially the indigenous people. So you should to stop all this mess. All this mess, you should stop it. And you are able to do that. Believe me, you're able to do that. And as I always say that I am a woman. I'm so proud to be a woman in a country in Yemen. People thought that I will not be able to gather Yemeni people around me to step down the dictator, but I did it. I did it. And I will continue my rule as a woman to make my country democratic country, peaceful country, rich country, regardless all the chaos that is now waging and supported by the leader of the counter-revolution. The same thing I'm doing with the Arab Spring countries, that I support their aspiration, our aspiration in Arab countries, against dictatorship, against military coups, against terrorism, against hatred. So we Arab people deserve freedom, democracy, dignity, and rule of law. And we will not stop that until we achieve it. The third challenge is the big gap between rich and poor people around the world. We are in the 21st century, and this gap is increasing. Unfortunately, the globalization itself makes this gap bigger and bigger. Give the wealth for the wealthiest countries and the poverty for the poorest countries. And we witness this gap in every country that we suffer from poverty and suffer from lack of governance, etc. So you, young people, should stop this declaration, should fight poverty as you fight dictatorship, should work for making this gap smaller and smaller, or to delete it at all. We need equality. When we talk about equality, it doesn't only mean equality between women and men. It also means equality between rich countries and poor countries, between rich people and poor people. That is the equality we are talking about and calling about. It's the right of the international citizen to have the same right to access to education, to access to the healthcare, to access to all service of the life. To have dignity, freedom, democracy. Democracy is not only a European or a Western affairs. It is not, no. We people around the world deserve democracy. Democracy, total democracy. That means, that guarantee accountability, that guarantee freedom of expression, that guarantee participation, that guarantee transparency, that guarantee rule of law, that guarantee the right of every people to participate in election, to vote, and to be candidate, to choose their ruler. So we deserve that. Why do you allow the dictators in our countries to kill their people? Do you, the governments of the Western countries, allow the dictators to kill their people? Do you think those people doesn't deserve democracy? Or you just want your interests above the human rights? You people, young people, will stop this narrative. We deserve democracy, and we will make it real in our countries. So these challenges has a very big opportunities, very big opportunities. The most important opportunity is you young people. And don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate your power. You are stronger than any generation in the history. And you can make and give a lot of solutions. One of the solutions, you have to push on your governments, especially the people who belong to the democratic countries, to stop their alliance with dictators. And you have to push those cooperations to stop their stealing the wealth of people in the poor countries and in other countries. And also, we, all of us, should work together to stop the very important challenge, the biggest challenge that faces humanity and human rights. It's the P5 vote in the Security Council. And I will say this note, and I will close with another note. But this is a very important thing. And you young people, because I know that some of you will be the president. Some of you will be ambassador. Some of you will be minister. Some of you will be the head of corporation, head of media outlets, actor, lawyers. All of you will be leader. If you will not be leader, why did you come here? If you will not, why did you come here if you will not be leader? If you will not make change in your country and around the world, why did you come here? This is a very important, this summit is for the leaders of the future. This summit is for the current change makers. So let's all of us unite for stopping the vote of P5. The vote, if the Security Council, those countries, they took this vote, their rights in the Security Council, to limit, to attack other people's rights. And there is no time to explain that. But the veto right of the only five countries, they use it in front of the face of calling for justice, freedom, and equality, should be stopped. This right should be for all the nations around the world. Finally, again, accountability is very important. You should hold your governments accountable. You should, those people, corporations, anyone in the power, accountable. They have to face justice. If you open your eyes and if you be brave enough, you will solve the world's problem. Thank you so much.
Woo! Where's your family? They're here. Where are they? Where are they? I'm looking for Tawakkol's family. Waving. There they are. There they are. Hello and welcome and thank you. Thank you. Thank you, darling.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tawakkol.
You've got to feel sorry for dictators, I tell you what.
Yeah, you can understand there was only ever going to be one winner there. Now, are you excited to become One Young World Ambassadors?